Hey, welcome back to iAllegedly. I'm Dan, and I've got a good one for you today because more people are working multiple jobs right now as financial pressures mount just to get by. So, as always, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and today we have a sponsor that just came back, Private Internet Access, and I'll talk about them in a bit. But I want you to think about this because this survey was done with thousands of people, and the story is below in the video description, but think about this. 42% of workers right now say that they have to have a side gig just to get by. Now, Gen Z, people that are 13 to 28 years old, basically my kids right now, will work multiple jobs just to, make ends meet. And it's just getting more and more difficult right now because what we're seeing right now is I have people that write me and friends. I have colleagues that are looking for jobs right now, and they're offering less and less and less benefits, less money, everything. So let's go through some of this stuff because it's fascinating. And everybody thinks when they have these issues, everybody thinks that they're alone. A majority of the workers no longer believe in the stability of full-time jobs. Well, yeah, exactly, because the companies are letting us down. 61% are calling the idea of a full-time job and a place to retire a myth. 61%. That is wild. 76% are expressing disinterest in leadership, rules, and stress, complete burnout. The toughest thing is to work for somebody that's a jerk. And I've told you guys great stories about this that I find pleasure in, and people have written me over and over and over about stuff that they're dealing with. Couple things. My son, he came to town. He's doing some acting thing, and they're filming. They're cutting shorts and doing all this stuff. But one thing about this is that you should take, if you're gonna act, if you're gonna do anything, you should get skilled in that profession, because one thing that people don't think about is when you're out filming, what's it like to film for TV? What's it like to film for a single camera movie shot? And this class he took, taught him that. And then they're filming and showing him the results, and he's meeting agents and things like that. Now, my agent was like, doesn't he know that you have me and that I could introduce him to people? Well, I'm glad he took this class. But again, took a second job so he could afford the class. Now, dad flew him out here and dad feeds him and all that stuff. But things are expensive right now, and there's no way, he and I talked about this morning as I was going to talk about this subject, that there's no way he could have done it without the extra help from me and without the side gig, and he just would be dead broke or going into debt, which is the last thing he wants to do, or dip into the savings, which I gave him some credit for. Adelita runs a dog walking business, and she says, Dan, right now I'm having such a hard time to get good employees that will help me take care of the dogs. Dog grooming, dog training. She's licensed and all that in the state of California, but she'd rather do it herself than have to deal with inferior people to work with. So, this is the problem too, guys. It's not just your boss is terrible. It's that people are lazy too. You get people that, there's a woman that runs a dog grooming business, and you'd think somebody that was semi-retired or loved animals would want to work with her. And no, they just don't show up on time. They're late, excuse after excuse, and it's always a problem. I'm out at that Veterans Park where they do the streamers and stuff to keep the birds away. It's kind of light today because there's very few birds out here. So, I spoke about this before, and I recently talked to her, a house cleaning company, where she got rid of all her employees too because nobody wants to show up on time. They all want to, work. What day? Thursday morning or afternoon? Oh, so she just got rid of everybody. Cleans the houses herself. If she has a big clean, she'll hire subcontractors out and do that. But that's what people are running into right now. We're seeing more and more stuff like that. So it's difficult, guys. Younger generations find corporate hierarchies difficult, and they just want to be out of the corporate hierarchy. Despite the desire and meaningful for flexibility, 60% of the respondents said that they would still cut their salary to have better benefits, and almost 75% said if they lost their health care, they would stop working with the company. So that's wild, guys, when you think about that. More and more people are having a difficult time right now. And the problem with this is you make less. You've got to look at this thing. So these streamers. I'll walk on this side of it. Keeps the birds out of the lake because there's none today. But as we go through this, more and more people are upset about, you know, the quality of work. It doesn't matter. It's not, oh, Dan, you're talking about service industry. No, these are bankers too. Jamie Dimon, who's fed up with everybody right now, which is kind of funny. I talked about that in the private channel. But what they're seeing is bankers right now don't want to go into the office. They don't want to deal with people, and they want to work less. And 90% of people said that they would take a pay cut to work from home. It has been anticipated that they lose on an average day, you get 2.5 hours less from people that work at home. And that infuriates. Whenever I say this, it infuriates people that are stay at home, because here's the difference. There's two types of workers. There are people that don't need to be babysat. Laura from Connecticut, salesperson, always sends me stuff, but independent. Okay, doesn't need her boss to sit there and have his hand, over her every single day. She just does it, and hits sales records and does all this stuff month after month after month, and doesn't need to be babysat. Not everybody is like that. Remember that. Let's talk about our sponsor, Private Internet Access VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network. And what it does, it makes it so that from whatever device you're on, whether it's your home computer, your tablet, your cell phone, to any website that you go to, you're completely encrypted, and the bad guys can't see you. They can't see your keystrokes, and it protects you and keeps your activity completely private. Now, Private Internet Access, I'm so happy that they're back. It's been our third year now that we've had them as a sponsor, and what they've offered you guys is 83% off their regular price. It is pennies a day to get this service. It is absolutely amazing, and it's so easy. There is no hardware to install. And to give you an idea, my cell phone, all you have to do is click on one button and the VPN is on. It's this simple. You just click on the button. When it turns green, you're completely protected. I can surf the web. I can go on public Wi-Fi and not have to worry about other people seeing what I do. Now, here's the other thing about this that I absolutely love is if you have a Netflix account and you know that there's, foreign TV shows or different movies that are available in different parts of the world that you can't see here, you can change your location in your Netflix account and you can watch these. My cousin last night called me and said, hey, I want to thank you for having me get the VPN, because I went out and was blocked out to see in the Los Angeles Angels game, and I changed my location here in the States, and it's just a click of one button to do that, and he could watch the game. It's that cool. I mean, it's simple, easy to use, but the advantage to iAllegedly right now is you can save 83% off the regular price. Check it out today. Sign up for Private Internet Access, and once again, I'm glad they're back. It's a great service. You've got to get this today. It's a great gift as well. No hardware. All the devices in your house are covered. It's fantastic. Check out the deal today. Now, we spoke about Laura from Connecticut a few minutes ago, and she sent me a great story today about Genesis Healthcare, which is basically a nursing home facility. They're closing. Everybody's got to find a new place to stay. Sorry about this. What we got to do with our bankruptcy and reorganize our debt. If we don't do this, we're definitely going to have to close. So kind of crazy that you have things like this. The last thing anybody wants to do when they get family members in places like that is worry about where they're going to be. Amazon, great story from Amazon about how thousands and thousands of jobs have been lost due to AI, and you haven't seen anything yet. Read that story below. That's a good one. The other thing is you're starting to see more foreclosures on properties. Think about this. If you've ever been to Las Vegas and you want to get a bottled water at your hotel and it's $9, there are CVS's and Walgreens on the Strip. Well, there's one of them that just got foreclosed on. Okay, what are you, not buying sodas there anymore? Yes, they're more expensive than at your home CVS, but it's much cheaper buying snacks and crap from CVS there than it is at your hotel. I guarantee it. There's always lines, and it blew me away that the one in the north end of the Strip closed down. So you haven't seen, you're just going to see more of that. Coca-Cola bottling just closed 5 bottling plants in the United States. 5. So we're not drinking Cokes anymore. Coke products, all the sugary waters, all that stuff. 5 of them. You add up 200 here, 400 people here, 135 there. Guys, it was 900 people lost their job. 900 people lost their jobs at those Coca-Cola bottling plants. That is staggering, guys. That is a huge amount of people. And this is the thing. I don't think we've seen the end of this yet. I just don't. The layoffs, I think, are coming. Bigger. And here's the kick that you're going to, hey, this week, are they going to lower interest rates? Are they going to fire Jerome Powell? Do you care? Seriously, right now, if they lowered interest rates. Now, if you're a mortgage broker, you're going to raise your hand to the ceiling. But again, what do you think about that? Look at these big turtles sitting there by the edge of the water, sunning, the ducks in the shade right there. But do you care? I mean, are you going to go out and buy a house? You're going to go out and buy a $400,000 house, praying that interest rates are going to go down. It's going to make your house cheaper, or refinance your house. I'm telling you, I don't think that this is going to make a bit of difference. We need the economy to get moving again to where people have better jobs, people have better paying jobs. The other thing is, I am really concerned about, right now, see the little turtles, one floating out there. I am really concerned about the food and food storage and prepping. You've got to have things on hand, guys. You really do. And every now and then I look at my stuff and I'm thinking, God, do I have enough? Make sure you have bottled water, make sure you have purifiers in case something goes wrong. Now, again, my son, as a, you can't say he's a college student anymore, but just as a young man, he's sitting there trying to get by. And as he's working this stuff out, I'm just telling him, for him, you need to have the emergency fund. He's got to have that so that if something happens, he's protected. So, there's a great study that I found about the top 7 traits of wealthy people. And the thing I get a kick out of this is that they're not what you think they are. These are great. They avoid outward status symbols. They drive modest, practical cars. Structure finances for tax efficiency, which, again, this time of year, guys, taxes are done mid-year. You should have a tax appointment right now. You should talk to your accountant and see what you can do to make sure you're maximizing your tax savings. And I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you advice to go see your accountant. I have never had anybody have that appointment and write me back and say, Dan, what a waste of time and money. That cost me $200. I've always had people write me back and say, oh my gosh, it saved me so much money, and I have the rest of the year to implement this. So track and allocate every dollar. Again, do you know how you spend money? That's what I had to sit down with this boy this morning and talk about, how you need to save your money and you need to be, respectful of the money that you earn, because I'll just earn more next week. Maybe not. One thing that blew me away was one of the restaurants he worked for. Hey, got some news for you guys. We're going to give you guys a few days off around 4th of July. Really? Why? Yeah, we're closing for 4th of July, which to me was a horrible sign for this restaurant. Why would you close on a holiday weekend? The little tugboat and the sailboat. Guys are electric boats in the lake. But you know what I mean? So it's like, it's awful. They have multiple income streams. They guard their privacy, fiercely, like the VPN and things like that. Guys, we've talked about stuff like this. The bad guys are getting better and better and better. And I'm going to end this video with a horrific story, but you have to protect yourself. Hype-driven ventures, stay away from hype-driven ventures. So I love stuff like that, guys. I love the advice. And, I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly taking the time, instead of just sitting there watching cat videos on YouTube. I go out. I hate cats, by the way. Not a cat fan at all. Rosie doesn't like them either. Anyways, I don't watch stuff like that. I don't waste my time with stuff like that. I try to research and get myself some knowledge all the time. So with that, do the same thing. Who has the highest property taxes in the country? And this blew me away. I'm thinking, oh, it's got to be California. Nope, New Jersey. New Jersey, the average property tax bill is $9,400. Okay, that's crazy, guys. That is absolutely horrific when you think about that. So people just have it difficult right now, you know? Coffee has been proven to be helpful as far as chronic liver disease and helping that. And you should drink black coffee, they say, which I always love the story. Read the story below. I always get a kick out of people that make money with side hustles. And there's a man that became friends for people and makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He made, almost 100 grand to do nothing and just be somebody's friend, hang out with them. People will pay for that. Isn't that wild to think about? So it's a beautiful day. Again, Veterans Park, a nice spot. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And David Martin. David Martin is a good Samaritan in Arizona. And what he's done is he gives out bottled water to people that are hot, people that are walking their dogs in the Arizona heat. Okay, doesn't that sound great? Only problem is that in Goodyear, Arizona, his HOA, the Canyon Trails HOA, fines him $100 an incident for doing this. He's like, I don't care. What, by being a good guy and giving people water? Well, you have the cooler out in front of your house and people can see it. Imagine the insanity of that. Imagine this. So this guy has been fined thousands of dollars for seeing people walk their dogs. By the way, it's 80 degrees right here. It's 105 in Arizona right now, where that guy's passing out water. Okay? Come on. It's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. 3 women were arrested here from going to an Ulta store and ripping it off. You know how they caught them? License plate readers in the area gave a description of the vehicle, and oh, wait a second, let's check the readers. So again, your privacy is totally not there, but the license plate readers caught the license plate. They tracked the car down and turned on their license plate and tracked them down and found, $20,000 worth of makeup in their car. Imagine that, stealing 20 grand worth of makeup. Oh my God, it's horrible. Final story is 2 things. Let me do this first. The Netherlands is having a problem with power. We've talked about power outages, you guys, over the course of the last, few weeks, couple months ago, where they're coming back. Well, the Netherlands is telling 21,000 businesses, hey, don't try to turn your power on. You don't have power right now. How do you sell anything? How do you keep food cold? How do you keep ice? You can't. So this is awful. And then the final story was from good old Wells Fargo, where a man got a fraud alert on his phone. Hey, you need to contact us. So they gave a phone number in the fraud alert. He calls them, and it was not a Wells Fargo agent. It was the bad guys who took $20,000 from him. 20 grand. Oh my God, you guys. I'm telling you guys, don't call the number from the phone. Call the number on your ATM card and ask them if this stuff is real, because it's not. They're getting more and more sophisticated. The guy with the toll road scam that we talked about earlier in the week that got $3,300 taken out of his account, this guy's got 20 grand. It is happening on a daily basis that somebody's getting scammed out of big money right now. So be leery of this stuff. They don't call, they don't, text. They send you emails, they send you the alerts. Call your branch when you get that. Don't hesitate. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to send me anything, it's hello@iAllegedly. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everything good that you guys send out, because it's absolutely amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you very soon.